Welcome back to the video. So today we are back to review the new Dragon Ball Super Chapter 91. So it came out today, and I'm going to be going over the chapter. Leave a like, subscribe, and see more content like this, and hit that bell to post it consistently. And also check out the other Dragon Ball Super Chapter reviews that I've done already. So this chapter is kind of like I said, this is the new superhero arc, which is recovering the, it's covering over the movie that came out last year. So a lot of this arc is going to be retelling what happened in the movie, but also adding new things to spice it up to make it a little bit different. So I'm gonna go into more detail about stuff that was not shown in the movie and stuff that's added on to, but I'm still gonna be going off to the chapter, but like I'm gonna give more attention to the stuff that's brand new instead of just retreading everything that was already in the movie, which you can go see, which that movie was great. And so far I really like a lot of the changes that this new chapter, new arc are showing, but a lot of it is still the same old, so it's that Dragon Ball Super retailing type stuff. So let me stop talking, let's get into it. So the chapter once again starts off with Piccolo picking up Pan from school, which happens in the movie and stuff like that. They have the same conversations. It's like fun little banter, seeing Piccolo bond with Pan, and it's kind of funny that Piccolo is like the main one that has to always take care of the Goku family kids. Like at this point, like Piccolo is pretty much considered part of Gohan's family. And like I'm thinking like in other games like Dokkan with categories like Goku family, they should just put Piccolo on there at this point, the way that he has to watch always the Goku family children. We keep on going, and Piccolo is actually like at his house like training with Pan, and then even like Pan like basically snitches to Piccolo about how Trunks and Goten are the new Saiyamans that we saw from the last arc, Saiyaman X1 and X2 and stuff like that. We also get a moment where like Pan actually like tries to like catch a frog, and the frog like jumps off a cliff, and we see Pan just jump off the cliff with it and ends up actually like catching the frog and catching the branch, and showing that like she's not like afraid of anything, which you know like kids, that's how kids are. A lot of kids are just not afraid of anything. So this is like the stuff that they're adding that's new, because they don't show this 3-month pre-skip, because you know the movie takes place like in his time frame after Dr. Hedo gets out of jail, which if you remember at the end of last arc, Dr. Hedo got out of jail after 3 months of a sort of sentence after what he did with the zombies and the morgue and the whole like thing that happened last arc. So like this part that we're seeing right now wasn't in the movie, seeing this like little like Pan and Piccolo like bonding and stuff like that. We see them later on in the movie, but we don't see how like they first start to like really like bond more, and Piccolo like actually like takes Pan like under his wing. And like they even talk about it like the next page where Piccolo is telling like Pan like he's gonna mold her into like a perfect little demon, basically. Like, you know how Piccolo is. Piccolo's just a fun dude that likes to like train people and stuff like that. And they have like some fun moments. Like I love seeing Piccolo interact with people, and just like he's one of my favorite characters. I think Piccolo's like arguably like one of my top 3 favorite characters, and I love seeing him in anything. So that's why I love superheroes so much, because I get to see Piccolo like the entire movie. But I love seeing like him bond with Pan, and you also see the difference in how Piccolo acts from when he trained Gohan in Dragon Ball Z to how he trains Pan now. Like Piccolo's still a hard trainer, but like he's a lot like nicer and softer than he used to be. So there's another thing we also get to see. We also get to see the police force, which we get to see a lot more in the manga, with the whole like police force that Krillin's a part of. And they have a whole like basically a big briefing on how they're gonna like stop the Red Ribbon Army, and how they need to like stop them from like unleashing a bioweapon, because they know about the whole Cell Max bioweapon that they saw on Dr. Hedo's disc and stuff like that. And so they're trying to stop the Red Ribbon Army before they unleash it, and basically they have a whole briefing, and they even show like on the board some stuff that you already know if you're like deep into Dragon Ball lore, about how the family tree works with Dr. Hedo, which is Dr. Gero, and then Vami, which is Android 21 from Dragon Ball Fighters, and then they gave birth to Jivo, which is Android 16, and then they also have another kid, which is Dr. Hedo's parents. And so it's nice to see that we also get to see like the big family tree for that family, and like also remembering and telling people that these are the characters' names. Android 16's real name is Jivo when he was a human, and then Android 21's real name is Vami when she was a human, and stuff like that. But they keep on going. They have a briefing. Basically, they're gonna stop the Red Ribbon Army, which is that's basically the red pharmaceuticals and stuff like that. And we get to see Carmine and Magenta talk, which we already saw in the movie that we don't really care about. And then we also get to see Dr. Hedo get out of jail, and he blows it up just like in the movie. Magenta and Hedo talk inside the car, whatever, like the same thing they did in the movie. And they even show like the little Hachimura, the little like hornet wasp, that like they explain everything, like how like the hornet wasp basically like Dr. Hedo's camera, like a little small android that can basically like kill people with his stinger, but also like has a camera and an audio, and basically can like spy on people. And it's the same thing for the movie, where basically like Dr. Heto's basically talking to Magenta about how he knew that they were gonna be looking for him, and they get inside the car and they start to have the conversation that they had in the movie about them working together. But this time it's different. In the movie, Krillin was not here. Krillin is here, like actually here, and is basically like on pursuit of like basically watching over them and trying to follow them back to the base, because that's what the police want. They want to follow Dr. Heto and Magenta back to their base and basically stop them before the bioweapon is even hatched. So we see Krillin like on pursuit, and Krillin is dumb doing this because he actually decides, instead of like standing on the top of the car and listening in on them, because he actually can hear them from the top of the car, that's what he does later on, he actually tries to spy on them from the side of the car. And like, I don't know if Krillin remembers, like he has a big ass head and is literally like shown, like literally Dr. Heto can literally see him like looking inside the car, hearing in on them. And remember, Dr. Heto knows Krillin because Krillin is the officer that arrested him in the last arc, so he knows about Krillin. It was a dumb moment for me. I was kind of like wondering why Krillin even did that and why Toyotaro made Krillin did that. That was kind of dumb for me, because later on in the chapter he could listen in on the conversation on the top of the car, and like he could. I'm gonna keep going. Basically, Dr. Heto sees Krillin and actually summons the wasp on him, and Krillin has a little like fight with the wasp. And remember, this wasp, if it stings you, like it can kill you like in one shot as a deadly poison. And so this fight actually has a little bit of like stakes because Krillin is worried about dying from the wasp, and also this is kind of like a heart. Like this also hurts Krillin a bit because he loses to this wasp. Like, so this is actually like an anti-feat kind of for Krillin, because Krillin actually, like, it looks like he's beating the wasp. He even shoots the wasp and it actually like goes down for the count. But then Dr. Heto activates like a Super Saiyan form for the wasp, where it goes like super and stuff like that, and it actually like attacks Krillin and actually knocks him out. Like it actually like kicks him into some rocks and actually knocks him out. I guess this wasp is like more powerful than like what I think it would be, because like it actually knocked out Krillin, which is crazy at this point in time, because Krillin's like actually kind of strong. But I was actually surprised that that happened. And then like basically Magenta and Dr. Heto like finalized their deal about how Magenta is going to like produce and basically help with the production of all the androids, which is Gamma 1 and Gamma 2 and Cell Max and stuff like that, and is paying Dr. Heto for it, but also like threatening him at the same time, saying like, if you don't do it, I'm basically, Carmine pulls out a gun and says, I'm gonna shoot you. But even Dr. Heto has this weird thing where he says that no bullets can affect him because he's like modified his skin and stuff like that. It's like, it's the same stuff from the movie. The only thing that's really different is that Krillin is now in this scene, and Krillin is going to be a lot more involved in this arc, which I really like, because, you know, he's a police officer, and it's kind of crazy that in the superhero movie, he doesn't show up until the end of the movie, and kind of like doesn't really do his job as a police officer. And I like in the manga, they're like emphasizing more about how Krillin is a police officer and is currently working the Red Ribbon case, is on pursuit of the Red Ribbon Army. And I like seeing Krillin. I like seeing Krillin, I like seeing Piccolo, I like seeing Tien, I like seeing Yamcha, I like seeing these characters. So I'm glad that Krillin is more involved in the superhero arc in the manga. So we go back to Piccolo and Pan fighting and training and stuff like that. Pan even almost gets the upper hand on Piccolo, but Piccolo, like, you know, steps it up and like stops playing with her. And it's the same stuff for the movie, where she's basically trying to learn how to fly. That's her goal, is that she wants to learn how to fly and control her energy. And like in the movie, at the beginning of this part of the arc, she can't do it. She can't like fly or whatever. And so she actually like goes back to school, and Piccolo actually like sends her off. And it's like the same scene for the movie, where Pan is able to like dash off and has superhuman speed, superhuman jumping and stuff like that, and is a 3-year-old that can literally travel the world on her own. She's built different. Pan is just built different. So we head on to the next part, where Piccolo is actually like training, but then here's a phone call on his phone, which is still funny to me that Piccolo like has a phone, and it even has the case. The phone's case is the plushies that Videl and Gohan get him. So Videl calls Piccolo to tell him like, yo, can you pick up Pan? Piccolo grumbles and grumbles, and then Piccolo decides like, yo, I need to go talk to Gohan to give him a piece of my mind, because like Gohan's doing the same stuff that Goku was basically doing to Piccolo back in Z, where he's just passing his child next to him, basically passing his child and asking him to do favors for him, which is really funny. I like that. That runs in the family, kind of. And so we have the scene from the movie where Piccolo shows up to Gohan's house. There's like no differences. They even talk about the same Super Saiyan ants and stuff like that. And then Piccolo even like nags at Gohan and then tries to punch him, and then Gohan like blocks it, and then Gohan actually gets punched to the stomach and puts on his like clothes, his weighted clothes back from Z. It's the same thing from the movie. There's nothing different at all. And even the end of the chapter is when Piccolo is still training and stuff like that, and then Gamma 2 shows up and actually like shoots the bullet at him, and it's like the exact same. Like, it even shows like the little panel where it shows Piccolo looking at the blast that's coming to him, exactly just like in the movie. So that's pretty cool. I want to talk about Gamma 2. So Gamma 2 shows up, and that's basically like the end of the chapter where they have the whole conversation about how he's not King Piccolo anymore, and even Gamma 2 having the explosions, which I love Gamma 2. But I kind of am like distracted by the way he looks. It's probably because the way they colored it in the manga, but his face just looks weird. Well, compared to the movie, I shouldn't be comparing the manga to the movie because I think the movie actually looks really, really good with the CGI and how Gamma 2 and Gamma 1 look. But his face just looks really weird. I don't know if it's just the color of how they darkened it, but his face looks like really scrunched up and not the way I want it to look. But I shouldn't be comparing it to the movie because the movie looks really good and this is the manga. But like, mangas can look really good and coloring can look really good as well in black and white. So I was just thrown off by how Gamma 2 looked. But that was the end of the chapter, which we still gotta wait like another, we have to wait a month for the next chapter. But like, this chapter was kind of cool. I like that they showed like new stuff because that's the main thing that the manga does and the anime try to do when they retell stories, that they try to like add new stuff to make it more different from what it was earlier. Like in the Dragon Ball Superhero movie, Krillin was barely in it. They didn't show all this police stuff, and they actually show like more stuff where Pain and Piccolo were actually like training during those 3 months that Hedo was in jail and stuff like that. And I like seeing that. And we also get to see like that crew, that police debriefing that Krillin was at, where they basically talked about the androids and like Dr. Dro, Vami, and Jivo and stuff like that. So that was cool to see. This chapter was long. I hope I summed it up faster than I thought it was. Like, it's a long chapter because basically this chapter is basically like the first like 30 minutes of the movie. I think it's 57 pages. No, it's 47 pages. So it's pretty long. But they basically, like, this chapter was trying to set everything up, and the way that it's going, I can see this arc ending in like maybe like 3 to 4 chapters, really, because this is like the first 30 minutes of the movie, I believe, and then the next chapter should probably end or begin. It should probably end with Pan getting captured, or maybe like it should end with Piccolo getting to the base. And then the third chapter could probably be when like it ends with like Gohan getting to the base fighting Gamma 1. And then the last chapter could probably be Cell Max. So it could go 3 to 5 chapters. Like, this is not going to be that long of an arc. So don't be like, if you're upset about this arc being a retelling arc and want to see more unique stuff, don't worry. This chapter should be over in like 3 months, which sounds crazy to say, but in manga, Dragon Ball Super time, that's not too long. That's not too bad. So, and also we'll also get to see how Gohan Beast looks. Hey, Gohan Beast and Orange Piccolo. That's the main thing I want to see, is how Gohan Beast and Orange Piccolo are going to look in the manga, and if they're going to give more context to Gohan Beast and explain more about the transformation and stuff like that. But that was the end of the chapter. I don't think there's anything else I want to talk about. Like I said, this is more like a retelling chapter, so it's not super crazy. But I did like some of the stuff that was in the chapter, like I said, like Krillin and stuff like that. Leave a like, subscribe to see more content, and hit that bell post consistently, and let me know down below what you think about the chapter and what you think about the extra stuff they're adding, like the Krillin side story with the police and stuff like that. So, like I said, leave a like, subscribe, and I'm gonna see you guys later. Peace.